Hello, my friends, and welcome back to episode 5 of the Second Age show, where finally, as you can tell from the title and earlier on this week, it has officially wrapped the filming of the Amazon Lord of the Rings TV series. So it has been a while, hasn't it, guys?
Forever. It
Yeah,
feels like forever. Yeah.
exactly. It's been such a long production. I mean, it started way back in February 2020, so it's been quite a long time.
Back
Mm-hmm.
back when we were all young.
Yeah, before we even heard of a pandemic, you know. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Or Fellowship of Fans.
Yeah.
And
indeed, very
yeah,
true.
so and I think it was actually 20 months, not for some people who had worked on pre production that had gone back into 2019 as well. So, some people, for example, in the art department have been hands on in New Zealand for quite a while. But also, from as you can tell from earlier announcements and in the title and thumbnail, we have some really interesting things to show you guys. And that is some gifts and kind of like merchandise, the first official products from the Amazon that Amazon have produced for the Lord of the Rings on Prime. So we're really looking forward to get into that. But firstly, just to recap, um, we have confirmation of the rap party, so that has happened by now, which is good, of course, and that's mainly for the crew. And also another interesting thing is around that there is going to be a third wave of final reshoots, and this will happen after quite a substantial part of editing is done. So what this means is that, of course, in all television shows and movies, you're going to do the editing process, you do post production, and then you will see just they'll have to re-go over just checks little things. There's nothing big. It just maybe this character hasn't turned like to the screen properly, so they have to redo someone turning their head. So that minimal reshoots is what would be occurring and the next step. So nothing too major there. I know there was um some things around that people might be afraid of, but nothing to worry there. So we are just recapping what came out as well. So, and also on the release date, I told you that in mid-July there was meant to be a basically a meeting and everyone they would decide a release date then, but apparently due to internal Amazon reasons that's been pushed back again. So it looks like the wrap date will be quite a while away. Um, Not the wrap date, the release date will be decided quite late um into the year, which may be interesting. Nothing much we can take from that really, but so yeah, that's the recap. So Amazon has officially wrapped up filming in New Zealand. People are expected to be flying home and by next Saturday as well. So and hopefully in the coming shows we can get you more updates on what's happening next and what's happening with season 2, etc., and post production as well. So yeah, does that sound good, guys?
Yes, yeah, that sounds great.
Exciting.
Oh, perfect. That means you can all hear me for that. That is really good news. So um let's get into the interesting part now. So um what we had something sent in to us which is legit and really nice, is that just to maybe if someone still doesn't believe that Amazon have wrapped filming, we have some gift slash merchandise kind of things that Amazon have given to their crew workers who have worked on the show for quite a while, and we have some of them here for you guys. So that is something pretty interesting. So this is going to be the first official products Amazon has made for the show, which is quite interesting. Nothing too much that you can take from it, but it's still interesting nonetheless. So as you can see so far, in that first picture we can see a box and a bag. But what's Carl? There's something interesting that's been quite repetitive throughout this whole thing. It's that ring verse, isn't it?
Yeah, I find that super interesting and like an actual logo, but I guess like Lakiti had pointed out that that would just scream leak me. So
Mhm.
but it is interesting that that design element is being used over and over, and I wonder if it will be incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're indeed using the classic ring aesthetic like they do on Twitter. I think their Twitter handle and the logo like is still the one ring.
Yeah.
But I think that could still be subject to change. Like Wheel of Time recently changed their, Twitter
Mm.
handle and logo just to kickstart the official campaign, and I expect something similar to happen to Lord of the Rings as well.
Indeed, but from something that I've seen and heard is that Amazon might potentially use these as you'll see in a second as you move on to the next one, which is the actual bag. You see this black, not the we see this first of all this black wrapping around it, which again has well, it has the I believe it has the Amazon logo, well, the Ringverse logo on it again, which is quite interesting. And the fact that the Amazon in the future, I think, want to not the box and the bag and everything, but some parts they might want to like do it for when if the show is officially out, merchandise goes out. As in the contract, it talked about travel bags in the contract that came out earlier, that we revealed earlier. So and then as you can look at this next one, we see this red leather bag with the thing on it again. And it is a really nice travel bag, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I
absolutely
want one.
gorgeous. Yeah, take my money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and I was thinking that the point I was trying to get to is that if Amazon, I know apparently Amazon would do want to in the future um bring these bags out again, and if the Ringverse in it, say for example, if this comes out in a year time and the Ringverse is on it again, that means it must have a important. It must be symbolic to the show in some way. If we think about logo wise, if they want to reuse it, and as we move into this next bit, if you want more Ringverse, we go into the inside of the bag, and voila, again we have
There's a lot of it.
Mm.
more Ringverse. And under those papers is probably NDA stuff, which unfortunately, fortunately, however you put it, has been covered up. Um, so so yeah, that's the main thing from that. And as you can tell from this next picture, it says Season 1 2021, and that is where the picture from my tweet came from yesterday. Um, that this is because they wrapped the first season in 2021. So I was just thinking that overall, this is first of all, it is a really nice gift. Like I wouldn't mind having one of these. And Carl and Lucky, do you remember the number I told you of how many of these are in the world right now?
Yes, I think you've mentioned something like 2,000 of these lovelies.
So it looks like there are only 2,000 of these copies of these Lord of the Rings on Prime crew gift bags out there right now. And there has been some haggling and just maybe some prices some people are charging is a bit ridiculous. And but hey ho, it is a really nice thing to have. But I'm just thinking that even here's the box and here's a little funny thing. It says GSR Productions supplied by um then go down down and then made in China. And you have Amazon who got on this big thing and it's just a little funny thing. So I think that just shows that's the first I think is this the first products we've seen from the show so far, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, indeed. I think this is something really nice to, kickstart the whole merchandise campaign or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super exciting.
Because I'm pretty sure I'll be speaking as well that Amazon do want to in the future resell these at some point, and that goes again around this Ringverse thing. If it's still there, that means it must be maybe the logo might not change or something along the lines, or maybe the title will have the Ringverse around it. So yeah, do you think that
Mm.
could maybe point to maybe the forging of the rings? Do you think that we could make that link? Or is that maybe a bit far fetched as of right now?
I think it does point to it. And, just to see their whole Twitter communication up to this part has been strongly suggesting that time period.
Hmm.
So I think reusing the ring aesthetic again points in that direction pretty strongly.
Yeah, I think they actually tweeted out the verse several times, didn't they?
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
When they were showing the maps, when they were
Yeah.
revealing the maps and slowly going back in time. So I
Yeah.
think that could confirm it.
And then again, we have in July 2020, no, 2021, they are still using this Ringverse and now on official products as well, that exclusively made specifically for the show as well. So yeah, and that's quite interesting. And we'll have to see maybe in years' time when the show comes out and the logo is still this. But maybe they've just done it as a placeholder at the same time. But I don't get why they would do that if they want to resell it in the future. If you get it,
Mm.
do you get what I'm trying to say? That, for example, if they want to make these and this show comes out as a different logo and everything, and then in order to look like maybe the Ringverse isn't there, and then you're selling products that has the Ringverse on it, and maybe they're just a downfall of Newman or something, it would be a bit. It wouldn't really make sense. So
It's true. And I think I could definitely see the Ringverse being a part of the logo at least. Like
Mhm.
maybe the centerpiece of the logo being, the name of the show once we finally find out what it is. And just the Ringverse being somewhere in the background or something. I think that sounds plausible.
mm-hmm. Indeed. And hey, let's say maybe this is a good thing. At least it shows that Amazon are treating their workers quite nicely. I know there would probably be a lot of jokes around that, but despite all those, this it does seem the quality seems really really good. And as we keep on looking at this, and here's an interesting thing. So, what do you think the retail price would be to buy one of these? Any guesses?
What are we talking about? USD? Are we talking about
Yeah,
what are we
let's
talking about
yeah,
here?
yeah, we'll go USD. We'll go US. So this is without what I've said earlier about as of right now, because
Mm.
it's only 2,000. So Amazon are releasing these. Let's say next year. How much do you think one would cost?
Oof, I could see them selling it for a couple $100.
Yeah, maybe a couple hundred. That would
Yeah,
be
I would say.
That
200.
sounds fair.
Yeah, you said maybe
Mm.
Yeah.
200 be ballpark. So if you want, there's only 2,000 of these in the world right now, and if you want one of these, if you want to pay excess of around £1,000, with the crew letter in it, and then if you got that money to spend it, then by all means, don't contact me though because I don't have one of
Not
these. Yes,
not all of us are Jeff Bezos.
yeah, that'd be
Well, don't contact me either, but you can always send me one. I wouldn't mind. So
Yeah.
go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, for all the work I've done for the show, if a crew member in New Zealand wants to send me this, just send it. And I'm kidding. I'm sure they're breaking all sorts of NDAs by doing that and by
Mm.
I think selling them as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully we
Mm.
don't see any of these on the market right now because I think someone they will probably be getting into a lot of trouble through doing that. But I was just thinking another interesting thing we can do. So just before we wrap up on this part, first visual products. Of course, we can't take too much from this as of right now. There were gifts given at the end of production to the crew workers that have worked on the show for quite a while now, and just that has the Ringverse in it and I think that's all we can take from that, really. Nothing that really points us in any directions too much, but I just thought it'd be interesting. We know Amazon are wrapped as being, well, here's just a little more lightweight thing that we could look at, which is quite interesting. And the first, basically, official bit of gifts and merchandise, because I've heard that Amazon do want to in the future maybe resell these. But I think that kind of defeats the point of giving them as a gift, but who knows? Maybe that's the for advantage of selling them now. But I was thinking a good way because a lot of people are talking about how many months Amazon have worked on or have been filming specifically for Lord of the Rings on Prime. So I thought that'd be a cool little maths game to do right now. And Lakiti, I know I think you'd be specifically useful here. So we know that when did Amazon start filming?
Amazon started filming in early February 2020, and
Mm-hmm.
then the show went on hiatus due to the pandemic mid-March 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, the show then picked up filming the two pilot episodes in September. I think it was
Sep-
September 28th.
it was 25th, but yeah, it's 3 days off. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Wow, so they stopped filming in March and then
September
continued
25th.
September?
Yeah, September
Wow.
25th.
Okay. Mhm.
So
I
so
didn't
far,
realize that.
then to December, that is about basically yeah 3 and something months. So that's so far on that part of the year we have. Let's just say That's 5 months altogether. Sure, is that fair to assume? Of course, plus and minus. We got that extra half a month in March, then you got the last few days of, or should we say 4.5 months? Is that sound correct?
So you mean by Christmas
Yeah, by
2020?
Christmas 2020, 4.5 months.
Yeah, something like that
Yeah,
sounds fair.
and then we know Amazon have filmed now until July, so that's 6 months. So it looks like Amazon, I'd say, including the reshoots that would have happened, you'd be looking at maybe 11, 12 months altogether they spent filming um, this show altogether. And
Yeah.
because the original plan was to originally film until April, first 2 episodes done, and then you have these 4 months hiatus, and then you get back to start filming again in October, and then go whole way round. But everything got pushed forward a few months. So instead of Maxime Bourdry and co arriving in New Zealand at the end of summer, so he would have normally arrived late August, um early September. He would have arrived to start his filming. Instead, he arrived in late November, early December. So you see that's a few
Mm.
months push. It's been pushed forwards already. So that's the delay. If you want to know about the delay the COVID pandemic had on the show, so I'd say a 3 to 4 month delay altogether, and that's
Yeah.
and for
I
release
think I
date.
think
Yeah, go on, continue.
that sounds fair. And I'd just like to point out that you said like he was due to arrive end of August. I'd just like to point out that that's New Zealand winter. So their planned hiatus was going to take place during the New Zealand winter, which makes
Mm.
perfect sense because I bet they're shooting lots of scenes outdoors, and
Mhm.
it makes sense for them to wait for the warmer months.
Ooh, okay. I've forgotten that I've had. I've just remembered you. That's perfect, Lakitia. That you reminded me that. I've forgotten. I have some more news from inside the
Oh
filming of
no.
Lord of the Rings, and that's just come out of. You just reminded me. I just completely forgot about it. So let me just quickly find it 1 second. Um,
Always
so
something up your sleeve.
yeah, I just so from just around. If you want to know about what Amazon were filming, not on. So we a lot of the things that we have shown has been on set in using so actually indoors because as Lakitia mentioned earlier, we're getting around is the winter nearly of New Zealand right now. So what has been quote is that the bulk of offset filming on location was done, but they saved for from around July onwards. Well, I mean April onwards. They saved the most remote, darkest settings for the onset of winter and the good natural light for the mood. And not every character was needed for those scenes. So outdoors, what they did, the more the darker and it's quote darkest settings for the onset of winter. So those type of scenes that needed that mood really was filmed on set. Was filmed on set afterwards. So we know on in the studio there was lots of filming around Numenorians and etc. We know the dwarven mineshaft as well. So yeah, it makes sense though, doesn't it, to film that I put in chat now to film that
Hmm.
all.
Yeah, totally. It's actually pretty cool that they could take advantage of it while they have the winter going on there. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, indeed. I actually think that one of the prettiest things about Fellowship of the Ring in particular was how Peter Jackson really used the soft winter light for the
Mm-hmm.
Amon Sul scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of hoping they'll use the the moody stuff here as well,
Yeah, that's
just as
super
far as
cool.
light is concerned. So
And
Mm-hmm.
snow trolls, of course.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a few of them. Thank everyone for watching, and also to my lovely co-host. So thank you, Carl, for coming on as usual.
Thanks again. Lovely chatting as always.
Indeed, and thank you, Lakitia.
Hey, it was great talking to you, gents.
And I'm so happy that the recording you've been able to hear me for the last
Mm.
for this how long. So that's another positive that we can take from this. So I think it's just up to Amazon now to see what they will release around the show. We've got it here confirmed. I like to say first that filming, of course, no matter how many other accounts say it, but that's beside the point that they got first that filming was up it was always planned to be around the 30th, specifically the 30th of July. So it looks like that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. But until the next video, my friends, goodbye.